At T-Mobile, our critical mission is providing unparalleled 5G coverage for when connectivity is mission critical. Introducing T-Priority, America's best 5G network experience for first responders, even in times of congestion. More capacity, faster speeds, better coverage. T-Priority from T-Mobile, built for tomorrow's emergencies, ready today. Discover more at t-priority.com.
For qualifying organizations on eligible rate plans, coverage not available in some areas and may be impacted by emergencies.
Love, exciting and new.
Hello, Hannah Waddingham here. Have you seen the fabulous new Sun Princess? World-class entertainment, exceptional dining, and the greatest pizza ever.
It's a love.
Don't miss our Come Aboard sale with up to 40% off and free room upgrades. Visit princess.com or call your travel advisor to book. Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Offer ends 2/28/25. Ships at Bermudan and British Registry.
The Pokemon Adventures audio drama is finally here. For right now, exclusively on Patreon. Join Red as he ventures off into the Kanto region to complete his Pokédex for Professor Oak.
This is a Pokédex, an encyclopedia of Pokemon.
Get his gym badges to battle the Elite Four.
Wow. Me? One of the greats?
And battle against the nasty Team Rocket, who is searching for a mysterious phantom Pokemon.
You know us. We're flattered.
Go to patreon.com/everypokemon to join this massive community right now to be able to listen to this new audio drama before anyone else. Again, that's patreon.com/everypokemon. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. It's another mashup, my friends. I am one of your hosts this week, Professor Chris G, and on the other line with me is the man that I just rescued 5 minutes ago. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, my man, how you doing?
Yeah, well, they don't know the half of it. So.
I talked you off the ledge, bro.
Yeah, well,
you're about to smash that computer.
Yeah, it still might, still might not make it.
Do you think it's time for a new computer? I gotta ask that.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Because this is basic. This show is basically the only thing I use it for.
But how you doing, my brother? It's been a minute. Unbeknownst to our audience, it's been about a month since we've actually sat down and recorded. Just due to different things that were going on. Luckily, we had a whole lot of podcasts in the bank that we can continue to roll out, and I still am rolling out right now. So that's the luxury of this podcast.
But yeah, in terms of how I'm doing, I'm doing pretty well. I mean, jokes about, technology aside, like you said, happy to be here, happy to be doing this mashup because, you and I kind of talked the other day that mashups are a little bit easier to do because they're just kind of a little bit more free flowing.
Yep.
Because, I mean, we put ourselves behind the 8-ball of the Every Pokemon, and if we went
one episode a week,
yeah, it would just. I mean, we could probably retire just based off of sticking to it long enough that the medium would rise up to meet where we are, but
yeah.
We just don't have that kind of time. You got kids, I got stuff going on.
So, yeah, we'll catch up one day. I mean, we're still pretty far back, and the luxury of this podcast is that we'll be here for a long time, my friends.
Yes.
So,
and I think the interesting thing about Pokemon is, I mean, as far as we know, they're still pumping out content, and so, I mean, we're fighting an uphill battle, but it's a fun fight.
Yes. Yes, it is. Oh, no. One of my computers just died. But luckily, I'm still over here. My main computer that I watch the episodes as we go through it just took a big crap on me. I got a big blue screen, but
it's contagious.
It really is.
it's
I think that's the first time I've seen it on this computer. This is a new computer. I built this computer. So.
not the blue screen.
Yeah, the blue screen. It said your device ran into a problem, but we're here, and it will be a second before we restart. So I'm going to ramble for a little bit until this restarts. But we are doing 4 episodes today. And the episodes that we are going over on your Johto journey on this mashup is The Little Bighorn, or translated from Japanese, Odoshishi, Forest of Illusions. And then we have the Chikorita Rescue, or the Stubborn Chicorita. And then we're going over Once in a Blue Moon, or Nuoh and the GS Ball. And then we're going to go over the Whistle Stop, Rediba's Flute, translated from Japanese. The Little Bighorn premiered in Japan on December 9th, 1999, and here in the States, November 18, 2000. The Chikorita Rescue debuted in Japan December 16th of 99, and here in the States, November 25th of 2000. Once in a Blue Moon premiered in Japan December 23rd, and here in the States, December 2nd, 2000. And December 2nd, 2000 was for the Whistle Stop here in the U.S. too, and in Japan aired on January 1st of 2000. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and I figured out a problem I was having. And you know what that means, but
yes.
They don't need to know. But I figured it out, by God.
Oh, you got it up.
Mm-hmm. Well, now, goddammit, don't say it like that. After the talk about what I use this computer for, that's not helping things.
It's a joke, bro. It's a joke.
Son of a bitch caught me mid-drink. I couldn't respond.
You're like, yes, of course.
Oh, boy.
Oh, it's a good day, everyone. It's a great day to be podcasting. But we are going to start with The Little Bighorn, yes. which revolves around Ash and a Stantler, and it's a baby Stantler. So this is going to be a great episode, dude. Are you ready to go and dive right on in, bro? And start?
Yes, I am.
Start these reviews? All right. So here we go, everybody. Let's start The Little Bighorn. So our heroes arrive in a city, and they see something sticking out of a bush. And Ash, of course, uses his Pokédex, and the Pokédex is like, oh, this is Stantler. And Ash is like, oh, cool. You know what? I'm going to catch it. Because, I mean, why wouldn't you? Right, bro?
Well, I mean, that's at least a fair reaction, you know. And I mean, I feel like in the span of the 4 episodes we're going to be covering, I'm going to catch it was the knee-jerk reaction a couple times. And I mean, quite frankly, coming off of the Horizons episodes that we've been talking about, where Liko and Roy seem to almost, I don't want to say reluctant, but like, you know, because Roy especially is...
Well, they don't have their own Pokeball, so we kind of have to give them a break, because, I mean, they're traveling with they're traveling with the explorers, and or not the explorers, the Rising Boat Tacklers, and they're just kids. They're supposed to be in school. They have no money. They don't have any of that. So the Rising Boat Tacklers give them Pokeballs anytime they see that a Pokemon is ready to be caught to come onto the journey. They're not out wandering like Ash, Brock, and Misty are.
Well, that's all well and good, but you could also chalk that up to a lack of initiative. Well,
they have no money.
Well, okay, but when has money ever come up in the world of Pokemon?
I mean, you would think that Ash was given money after each gym battle, and Ash didn't really carry around too many Pokeballs because he only carried around enough Pokeballs to have Pokemon on his waist. It was very rare that a Pokemon was actually transferred somewhere else.
Well, yeah, that's true. It was very far in his journey before we figured out the whole 6 at a time. Anything extra would get transferred back to Oak.
Yep.
So, but that, again, I could chalk that up to Ash just being a one-track minder.
Yeah. And Ash and Liko and Roy are two completely different types of trainers. So, like me and you, when we're in the video game, we're making sure we're stocked. We're not leaving a town unless we have some money, some Pokeballs, like some stuff to be able to catch these Pokemon so we can go ahead and catch these Pokemon. And that's kind of how Ash was. But Liko and Roy, Liko was perfectly fine with just her Sprigatito.
Yeah, she was. And she still is, I think, in a way.
Yeah. So
I'm prepared for that to be proven wrong here in the next episodes, hopefully.
So, as we continue, Ash is about to catch the Stantler, but Brock is like, wait a minute, hold on. I think something's wrong here. And he identifies that the Stantler is injured. And Brock goes over and he starts acting like a Stantler.
Easy now, pal. These little ones scare pretty easily, so to get close to one, you have to act like a Stantler so it thinks you're one of them. You have to use Stantler psychology. Stay still. I'm a Stantler, too.
I think you're scaring it, Brock. He's definitely scaring me.
Stantler starts giving off a scent when Brock tries to give it some food. And from the scent, Stantler walks over to Brock and they start hugging each other. And then all of a sudden we see a herd of Stantler just appear and they're like, oh, we're going to get you. And all these Stantlers just start chasing our heroes. Doug?
And, they take off as you naturally would. And, they're running and they're running and they're running and they get, I would say, more into town because they encountered the Stantler in the forest, right?
Yes.
So they get more into an urban area and they just they look behind them because, I know you're probably taught not to look behind you, but you're being chased by a herd of Stantler. You're going to look, and they see that they're gone.
Yep, they're no longer. Well, I mean, I think they look behind them because they don't hear the noise anymore.
Which could be a bigger problem because if you don't hear them, that's when you get fucking caught off guard.
Exactly.
So they're like, that was weird. Where did they go? And they're like...
and that's when Officer Jenny kind of shows up.
Yeah, and Brock immediately, goes into, horny Brock mode. And he's like, oh, glad you showed up, Officer Jenny.
Is everyone all right over there?
Yeah, of course everything's all right now that you're here, Officer Jenny. My friend just can't tell a Stantler from an angel. A herd was here.
Would you mind coming with me?
Oh boy! Where should we go, officer, for a romantic stroll in this beautiful urban oasis?
You don't get it. I'd like you to come down to the station so I can fill out a report.
Great, but it sure is an unusual first date.
He doesn't have a clue.
They get into the station, and Officer Jenny's like, well, you know, we've noticed lately that that forest that you are in hasn't been getting a lot of visitors. And, you know, we've been trying to figure it out because, I mean, it's not like the forest is in, like, disrepair or anything. It's just, like, not getting the amount of traffic. And
that's when they state that they were kind of chased out of the forest by a herd of Stantler, and she's just sitting there, and she's like, oh. And that's when they walk out and they find Team Rocket was also chased out of the forest by a herd of Stantler. Right, Doug?
Yeah, and Team Rocket pops up on the scene, and they're like, you know, how can you just be standing there when there's a herd of Stantler, you know, basically breathing down our necks? And then Team Rocket looks back, and once again, no Stantler.
They're like, where'd they go? And then you see in an alley, Stantler's antler poking out, and then you see all the herd of Stantlers starts coming down the road again, but only Jesse sees it, or no, all of Team Rocket see it, and then that's when Officer Jenny and Ash and them, they're just looking at the herd, and then Brock is looking at the herd as well, and he's noticing that these Stantlers are not real. These Stantlers are going through glass, they're going through poles and all of this stuff, and Brock is like, I figured it out. And he just tries to stand out there and be all hero.
So he stands there, and, you know, obviously, Misty and Ash haven't seen it like Brock saw it. So they're like, what are you doing, Brock? Quit playing hero. You're going to get yourself killed. He's standing there, and he's like, you don't have to be afraid, Stantler. And just, we as the viewer, we see Brock take a hit.
Yep.
So we're like, oh my God, Brock's an idiot. He's dead. And, you know, the frickin'...
They just go through him.
They go through him, and, you know, I want to say there was smoke because, I mean, and maybe we were looking at it from the perspective of somebody that didn't see what Brock saw. So we saw smoke. So when the smoke of the stampede cleared, all it was the injured Stantler.
Yes.
And we figured out that the baby Stantler was producing the herd as a defense mechanism
through its psychic powers because it's scared.
And because it was scared, it knew it was her. So they get, they get Stantler some attention. And, you know, I mean, it's Pokemon, so it's like, you know, a little bit of spray and a bandage. And Stantler basically imprints itself on Brock because it sees Brock as somebody that it can trust because it provided Stantler with the help.
Yeah.
And Brock's a better person than I am.
As in what?
Because I would have caught the thing.
Oh.
Straight up. I would have said, oh, this Stantler trusts me. Bet. Here's a Pokeball.
Go in the Pokeball and I will care for you. Well, I mean, I think he would have ended up giving up the Stantler as well.
Yeah.
A little bit later on. Even if he did catch it, I think he would have used it.
this is something that I could have looked up after I finished the episode, but I didn't think of until just right now. Does Stantler evolve?
It evolves into a weird ear, but not in this generation.
I was going to say, I don't remember Stantler evolving, because Stantler, like I've gone over multiple times, like gold and silver, ruby, sapphire, that's like my breadbasket.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't remember Stantler evolving, but yeah, okay.
It evolved a part of Gen 8 and Legends Arceus. There you go.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so relatively recent.
Yes.
Okay, damn.
He is Pokemon 899 in the Pokemon.
Ah, damn. What's 900, just for shit?
900 is Cleavor. It's the evolved form of Scyther.
Oh, Scyther of Jiminy Cricket. Boy, I really have fallen on.
Oh yeah, Scyther has a few different evolutions. So it had
the only one I knew of was Scizor, and that's with the metal coat.
Yep, and then this was and Cleavor was announced in Legends or released in Legends Arceus as well. It's one of the prehistoric Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense because that's what Arceus is centered around, right? The prehistoric stuff.
Yep. So, but all right. So
if I'm good for anything on this podcast, by God, it's tangents.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a good thing though. But we back in the episode. Brock brings Brock. I was about to say Weird Ear.
He was about to say Weird Ear.
he brings Stantler back over to the forest, and he tells Weird Ear, "All right, we're done here. You need to go back and go back to your herd and leave these nice people alone." And Stantler is sitting there, and it's sad, and it's looking back. And Brock is about to shed a tear, but he can't shed a tear because he has to stay strong for Stantler. But Stantler doesn't know where its herd is at. So it's just going back into the forest to be scared again.
Yeah, this was kind of uncharacteristic for Brock, I feel. Because, I mean, I understand you need to go back and be with your own kind. I can get behind that. But go on, use your animal instincts. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
No, it's not. And this is where we see Team Rocket going down, and their bright ideas to catch all these weird ear. Wow!
I messed you up. I apologize.
You me up. All these Stantler, and Stantler gets scared again and starts giving off its scent. But as it's giving off its scent, Team Rocket drops in a huge, deer, robotic deer, to go and catch this Stantler, and it catches it. And they catch it in a net, and Meowth ends up having some sympathy for it. Brock ends up noticing that it was Team Rocket going into the forest, so he meets them over there, starts battling them with his Onix. Onix breaks up the robotic deer. Pikachu tries to blow Team Rocket into smithereens, but misses, and Team Rocket gets away with the Stantler. And then as they're getting away with the Stantler, we see something come through and just cut Stantler's netting. So Stantler goes falling to the ground. Ash goes over, releases Bulbasaur for all Bulbasaur is good for is his Vine Whip, and catches Stantler. And Brock catches Stantler in his arms as Stantler starts falling towards the ground. And this is where Team Rocket finds out that their balloon has been cut in half. And then they look behind them, and there's the herd of Stantler. But they're not scared. They're like, "Oh, we know you're just an illusion." And then all of a sudden, these Stantlers start gunning for Team Rocket. They headbutt him, and Team Rocket goes blasting off, and the Stantler is reintroduced to its herd, and it goes on and continues this adventure with its herd. And that was basically it for that episode.
Yeah, this was very much a one note. There wasn't really a B story to speak of. And the one thing I'm glad that they didn't do, and it's one of those things that just kind of popped into my head as you were kind of running down the episode, because you mentioned that Meow felt a little bit of sympathy towards Stantler as it was being captured.
Yes.
The one card I'm glad they didn't play is Meowth doing the translation for Stantler, because he's done that before.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like it when Meowth does translate when it enhances the story. But in this instance, it didn't need it. This episode didn't need any enhancing because the story was already told. We know that the Stantler was scared and that it's fearful, and all we needed to see was Stantler's face, and it told the whole story.
Yeah, we didn't need that extra sympathy on the Stantler. We understood the Stantler's, fear and issues. We didn't need Meowth putting like actual, because all he would have had to do was say the Stantler keeps saying "mommy" over and over, and then that's like, okay, I don't need this Bambi ass episode.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, not that they were going to kill a Stantler, but yeah. So, but yeah, I did enjoy the episode for what it was. I mean, not a whole lot happened, but
it was a nice filler episode. Like some filler episodes you kind of dread going through. This was not one of those. This was a filler episode where it actually got in touch with your feelings, and it told a really good story that I feel like the week when we were little kids was not wasted.
No, and that's the other thing. You gotta kind of put yourself in a headspace where you're only getting one, maybe two a week, and then you have to wait. You're not getting a mega binge these days.
Yeah.
Where you could do what we did, and we could say, okay, next episode, and the next episode is more of a home run.
Exactly.
But yeah, this was a good episode. It introduced a new Pokemon, so anytime you get that, that's a plus.
And that's when we're going to go into this next episode, because it's called the Chikorita Rescue. And
how did you say they had it in Japanese?
The Stubborn Chikorita.
So, like, literally, they just messed around a couple letters, probably.
Yeah, in Japanese, Chikorita is spelled Chicorita. Or no, not even L. Ita. Chicorita. There you go.
Yeah, so that's probably the closest Pokemon, like English to Japanese translation that isn't just a one for one. So that's interesting.
Yeah, for real. So,
Lowe's knows that free is just better. That's why MyLowe's Rewards is free to join. As a member, you earn points towards MyLowe's money on eligible purchases, get exclusive free gifts, and earn free shipping at Silver Key status, all on top of weekly member-only deals. Don't wait. Join MyLowe's Rewards for free today and start saving more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hey, Fidelity. How can I remember to invest every month?
With the Fidelity app, you can choose a schedule and set up recurring investments in stocks and ETFs.
Oh, that sounds easier than I thought.
You got this.
Yeah, I do. Now, where did I put my keys?
You will find them where you left them.
Investing involves risk, including risk of loss. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Chikorita Rescue. So, if you remember, a few mashups ago, we were introduced to Chikorita when Chikorita was it Casey? Yeah, it was Casey and her Chikorita, but Ash did not get a Chikorita. Why? Because that Chikorita that was at the professor's was given over to Casey. So how do we get Ash his Chikorita? So we reintroduced Chikorita within 10 episodes, and we have to give it to him. So that is this episode. This is the tale of Ash getting his Chikorita. And Chikorita becomes a nice stable in the rest of this Johto series going forward. We start
one of Ash's few mainstays that actually, and I mean a little bit of spoiler, but we're covering the whole series, so we'd get to it at a certain point. One of the very few Ash Pokemon that gets to evolve.
Yeah, gets one of the very few that gets to evolve, and one of the very few that he actually keeps all the way until the end.
Yeah, that's another thing that shouldn't be lost, because how many of it is, well, they ran into a herd of Charizard. I have a Charizard that I don't, probably one of my 2 top powered Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna go let Squirtle go back and play Fireman.
I know. So, alright, so like Officer Jenny couldn't get another Squirtle to go over there, but I guess Ash trained his Squirtle so well that there was no other Squirtle in the whole world that was like his Squirtle. So I'm just
there you go. That's Ash's problem. He's just too damn good of a trainer.
And people want his Pokemon. You don't see other people giving him their Pokemon.
No.
I mean, even though a lot of he falls ass backwards into all of these Pokemon, but I mean they might as well give it to him. But these trainers ain't giving up their Pokemon. Oh no!
Since we're on that topic, and I know we covered at the end of this episode, he doesn't even catch Chikorita.
Oh, does he not?
He doesn't catch Chikorita. Chikorita just jumps into his arms, and he's like, "Chikorita's my new Pokemon." He doesn't even make it official.
Oh yeah, Chikorita does go right into his arm. Holy crap, bro! Holy crap! I didn't even notice that until you said it right now. But Chikorita gets a Pokeball off screen, everyone. So we start this episode with our heroes running into a Chikorita that is sunbathing on the ground. And the Chikorita is sunbathing, and Ash basically in so little words goes, "All right, guys, this is this is for me. I didn't get Casey's Chikorita."
Okay, I'm gonna catch this one. If this Chikorita belongs to anybody, tell me now. If you don't, I'm gonna capture it. Don't say I didn't give you fair warning.
You better keep it down, Ash, or you're gonna scare Chikorita away.
And as soon as he says that, Chikorita kind of opens her eye, and she's like, "This son bitch thinks that he's gonna what?" And we kind of reminisce on Casey's Chikorita as well. And this Chikorita just wakes up and it's like, "Yeah, you're not catching me." And it starts waving its leaf on its head. Ash sends out his Bulbasaur, bro. Oh my god. When he sent out Bulbasaur to fight this Chikorita, I was like, "Ash, what are you doing?" They're both grass type.
He's an honorable man. He wanted a fair fight.
Bro. Bro. And then, okay, so long story short, and you're gonna eat those words in a second, bro.
Yeah, I know. I realized as soon as I said it, I was like, "He's a fair man." Anyway, never mind. Never mind.
So, Bulbasaur and Chikorita are battling, and Bulbasaur gets a nice solid tackle in on Chikorita. And Chikorita falls to the ground. Ash is like, oh, this is my chance. He throws his Pokeball, and Chikorita deflects it. And then Chikorita then goes over and uses Vine Whip on Bulbasaur square in his skull. And it shouldn't be that effective, but Bulbasaur was over there and he started crying. And Ash is like, all right, Bulbasaur, you don't need to battle anymore. I'm going to send out Charizard. And fucking Chikorita is a tough son of a bitch, because Chikorita is like, oh, you want to send out a big old dragon? I can take it on. And Ash is like, Ash literally tells Charizard, use Flamethrower on this Chikorita. And Charizard is like, all right, bet. And
doesn't even hesitate.
Not at all. Dude, he put his foot on Chikorita's head as Chikorita was trying to go over and tackle it. So, okay. So envision this, everyone. Charizard puts his foot on Chikorita's head as if he was putting his hand on Chikorita's head, and Chikorita's trying to like square up and trying to fight, but Charizard's like, yeah, I'm too big for this. And then Ash is like, you know what? Flamethrower, and let's char this Chikorita. And
char this Chikorita.
Yes.
And
as soon as he says that, freaking Chikorita is like, oh, you're going to char me. And it does Vine Whip, grabs Charizard by the foot, and just flips him on his back. And Charizard flamethrowers the fuck out of Ash's face. I was like, oh my God, this is great. I was like, let's just stop the podcast right here. That's it. That was the episode. And freaking Chikorita's like, all right, I'm going to Razor Leaf you. Charizard chars the leaves, and Chikorita's like, oh, I'm still in this battle. And Charizard goes and flies in, and fucking, oh my God, the strength of this Chikorita just Vine Whips Charizard square in the head again. Or not again, but just like it did Bulbasaur. And Charizard goes crashing to the ground. I was like, what?
Little scrappy little thing.
Yeah, and Chikorita kind of gets caught up in this whole thing too, because while it's using its Vine Whip, its Vine Whip gets tangled on Charizard. It takes Chikorita for a nice little ride, and Charizard goes and flies into a rock wall, and so does Chikorita. Doug?
So, once again, much like Brock in the first episode we covered, I don't think that Ash is a better man than I am. I think Ash is just dumb. Because his whole point was, I'm going to catch this Chikorita because I actually found a wild one that some little kid's not going to come out of the woodwork and try to arrest me for trying to catch. And this Chikorita runs itself into the side of a mountain with a big ass, Charizard coming behind it.
Yes.
Knocks itself out. It's a wild Pokemon, mind you.
And he doesn't catch it.
And he's like, oh, I think it's hurt. We better help it. Well, catch it and then help it.
Exactly. Dude, I was saying the same thing. Like, why? So, what was the goal of the flamethrower on this little baby Chikorita if it wasn't to hurt it?
Like, if the flamethrower hits, it's going to be, oh my gosh, I can't catch it. It's burnt. What were you doing? What?
Dude, I think Charizard would have killed it.
Well, let's not. It's a kid's show,
which is why Ash got flamethrower, because they can't have they can't have a Charizard flamethrower or Chikorita on a kid's show.
No, but Ash can get thunder shocked and flamethrowered, and he can catch a water gun in the face. But yeah, so the Chikorita's out, and they're like, "Oh, it's hurt. We better go take it to a Pokemon Center and help it." Well, there's no law that says you couldn't catch it because it was knocked out in the heat of battle.
Yes.
Not even like by accident, like it saw you coming and ran away and ran into the... No, you were actively battling the Chikorita. So he's like, well, we better go help it. So, and So they take it to the Pokemon Center. Brock gets to be horny over Nurse Joy.
Yippee.
He gets, in order to distract Nurse Joy from Brock, Misty and Ash are like, well, I have this hurt Chikorita, and while you're at it, you might as well look over all my Pokemon. And poor Brock gets shoved to the corner, and he's like, but I was here first, which, he was, but that's not the point.
Let's not gloss over as well. We did see that Team Rocket is going to be in this episode as well, because Team Rocket saw the battle with Chikorita and Charizard, and now they're like, oh, Chikorita went toe-to-toe with Charizard. We need it. Let's catch it.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
This is one of the few times that I'll give OG Team Rocket some credit for taking some initiative and being clever. They're like, this little Chikorita went toe-to-toe with a probably over... Well, can a Pokemon be over-leveled if it's on its third evolution? Probably not.
I would say his Charizard is in the 50s at this point.
Yeah, that's probably fair. Because it probably wasn't getting a lot of experience when it wasn't listening.
Yeah.
So anyway, Team Rocket's like, well, they went toe-to-toe, this... And they're not even trying to steal it at that point, because once again, it's still wild.
Yeah. So it's fair game.
They would be within their rights. So...
And they show up to the Pokemon Center in a fake ambulance, and they run in there, and they steal it.
And you know who I blame for this?
Nurse Joy.
Nurse Joy, 100%.
Yes. Because
she doesn't ask for papers. She doesn't ask for identification.
Until they've already gotten Chikorita.
They've got the Pokemon, and she's like, hey, wait a minute.
I don't know who you guys are. Let me see your papers. And Team Rocket, being Team Rocket, can't help themselves. And they're like, yeah, this Chikorita's ours. But you know what? It's wild, so nah.
And once again, Team Rocket was doing nothing wrong other than being a little scummy. They were on the hunt of a wild Pokemon.
Yeah.
Ash... I don't know. I was just disappointed. I wasn't expecting Nurse Joy to be so gullible.
I know.
I was just disappointed because Officer Jenny doesn't put up with no shit.
No, but Nurse Joy, it seems like all Nurse Joys, but the one that we saw in the Orange Islands that swims from island to island, I think all the Nurse Joys are soft so far.
Right. And the island hopping Nurse Joy just can't afford to be soft.
No, because she swims freaking miles every single day to help out and tend to all these Pokemon. So, but all right, so Team Rocket gets away with Chikorita, and Ash goes running after this Chikorita to the extent that he's jumping off cliffs onto the Team Rocket. Which I'm shocked they put into a kid's cartoon, because reenactment, back in the day, even in the 90s, you didn't want to put things like that on a TV show because you don't want kids reenacting what they're doing in the cartoon.
No, and I feel like this is probably a little before Jackass.
Yeah. No, this was in the prime of Jackass. Jackass came out in, 98, 99?
Oh, I didn't have Jackass being until, early 2000. That's not relevant, but yeah, and you might say, well, is a little kid going to get out of a car and try to jump from a moving vehicle? You wouldn't hope so, but you can't rule it out.
Let's see. Well, the movie premiered in 2000. Oh, no. Hold on. The franchise was born with shorts in October of 2000. So, yeah, it had just come out, bro.
Yeah, because this episode, November 25th, 2000. Yeah, so yeah, a little kid could see this episode, see Ash jump onto a moving car, and then flip a couple channels to MTV, and who knows what they're doing.
your kid shouldn't be watching MTV.
Well, who are you to tell me how to raise my kids?
Exactly. So, all right. So back to the story of Ash and this Chikorita. I mean, we already spoiled that he gets the Chikorita at the end, but how does he get it? So, Team Rocket goes into the mountains where it's all snowy, and they're inside a cabin, and they got this Chikorita. And they're telling Chikorita that they want Chikorita to be under contract with them, and that a footprint is binding, so just go ahead and sign here, Chikorita. And this is where Ash breaks into this cabin, throws snowballs in on Team Rocket, and that's where Meowth is like, hey, you're not getting away from here. And he clicks some type of device. The device clamps onto Ash, Pikachu, and Chikorita, and Ash is like, you know what? Let's all just run away. And they run in 3 different directions because why? I don't know. And then they all fall down a hill because Ash weighs more than Pikachu and Chikorita. And they get lost in the mountains. And now they have to find a place to stay. Otherwise, they're going to freeze to death. Literally. And Ash, Pikachu, and Chikorita find a little cave, and they stake out overnight.
Ash has both Pikachu and Chikorita in his jacket. You know, they're like cuddling for warmth, and well, yeah, and then you know they wake up and
they get snowed in, but in the midst of that, beforehand, Chikorita decided to go and run out. So Ash goes and runs after Chikorita, and it goes and it saves Chikorita because Chikorita is cold. So Chikorita starts falling in love with Ash and is like, oh my God, you're here to save me. They break out of the cave, fast forward a little bit later on after being snowed in, and Meowth has probably the best mechanic that we have seen in Pokemon in a long time. It's an automatic snowball thrower, and it literally packs in snow, and it just starts shooting snowballs all over the place.
Okay, Toy, you slipped away from us last time, but this time we got a brand new weapon that's gonna stop you cold. Start shoveling.
Fully loaded, Meowth.
Let's play ball. Get ready, kid. Here comes an avalanche.
Like the best thing that you could probably give a kid. And Chikorita goes over, hits a switch, and the Team Rocket snowball machine starts going haywire, and it starts snowballing Jesse and James. So they start running all over the place. Pikachu goes over and does its Thunder Shock and fries Team Rocket. The device blows up, and Team Rocket is gone. So this is where we meet back up with Brock, Misty, and Nurse Joy. They find Ash the following morning. And Nurse Joy says that she will care for Chikorita, but Chikorita doesn't want to stay. And Chikorita is like, I want to go with you on your journey. So Ash is like, oh, is that true? You want to come with me? And Chikorita's like, yeah. And that's where you alluded to at the beginning of the of us reviewing this episode, Doug, that Chikorita just jumps into his arms and he's like, I got a Chikorita. And that was the end of the episode.
And he does the little
This episode is brought to you by Coffee Mate. After watching this season of the HBO's original series, The White Lotus, this is the tropical getaway I needed. One more pina colada, please.
Hey, you're not on mute.
Oh, I thought I was in paradise. Turns out it was my Coffee Mate. Coffee Mate Pina Colada and Thai iced coffee flavored creamers. Inspired by the newest season of HBO's original series, The White Lotus. For the love of coffee. Try now.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Pardon me, he does a little peace sign pose, and something. Misty says something about, Ash and Chikorita make a great team, and Brock says, yeah, team's stubborn, and everybody has a laugh, and that's it. No official Pokeball, no 3 shakes and a catch, nothing.
Nothing. So, all right. So this next episode that we're going to go over, this one, we're not going to go over like word for word or like point for point, because it's kind of it's one of those filler episodes where we can kind of have a small conversation about what's going on in it. But this is where we get introduced to Quagsire in the episode Once in a Blue Moon. And
yes,
this episode, and all right, let's just talk about this episode, bro, because we can kind of talk through it. So I mean, the episode kind of starts with Ash like shining all of the Pokeballs, and of course he's out here because he needs to get the GS ball over to Professor Ivy, and
right.
And so he's shining this GS ball. And out of the water comes a Quagsire. And Misty falls in love with Quagsire and wants to catch it, but here comes Psyduck. They have like an hour-long stare down, and Misty's like, you can't just stare at each other. And then out of nowhere, the GS ball rolls, and Quagsire grabs it and takes off. So this episode is going to be about getting back the GS ball.
Stand here all day. Yes. Come back! That's the GS ball! Hey, wait! Squirtle, bring back that GS ball before Quagsire gets away!
Squirtle!
Nice work, Squirtle! Now just don't let it slip away!
Squirtle!
We end up finding out a little bit later on in this episode, bro, that Quagsire, they, in this area, one, you can't capture these Quagsire because the Quagsire are protected. And
so Ash and the gang almost literally are like in custody, and they have to like call Professor Oak, and he's like, no, I didn't warn them. I forgot. It slipped my mind. They didn't know. And Officer Jenny literally says, oh, okay, I'll drop the charges.
Yeah.
So, like, they were like, and I'm holding up my fingers, and this is a audio podcast, but they were like this close to actually legitimately getting arrested, which would have been probably the first time since they got arrested by that corrupt mayor.
Yeah. So the first time in a while. It's the first time in forever. But and it wouldn't be an episode if you didn't have Brock over here going, well, you don't want to arrest us, Officer Jenny. I think you're pretty. And she takes out some handcuffs, and he's like, oh, you really do want to arrest us. Fuck. But
he's like, I'm all in for kinky, but that's a little too far.
Exactly. But we end up finding out from Officer Jenny that the Quagsire, once a year around this time, likes to take round things, and they will take it over to a spring. They will play with it for a couple hours, and then once the full moon comes, they will take the round items, spit it over a waterfall, and it will start going down the stream so everyone can get these items back. And it said that if you get your item back, that it's good luck, and that the person that gets their item back last is gets the best luck of them all. So this whole episode, bro, was Quagsire trying to take the GS ball, and this is actually the first episode that we get Chikorita actually being territorial of Ash, because there comes a time when Quagsire is trying to take the GS ball, and then Misty and Brock get too close to Ash, and Chikorita's like, "Who are you guys?" and just starts whack, 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 and just starts attacking them, and then goes over and just starts hugging Ash. And it's like, "I'm your only Pokemon. I'm the only one that you," right, bro?
Yes. And this probably too deep for a kid's show, but I could see, honestly, Chikorita kind of trying to go like single white female on Ash's other Pokemon, but I could definitely see Charizard especially not being up for that shit, and Pikachu's being like, "Well, I've been here since day one, so you could kick rocks." But I like
like in a few episodes, and I don't know if you remember, it starts bullying Pikachu.
Oh, I do kind of remember that, yeah, like vaguely.
Because Chikorita gets jealous of Pikachu and like not only will it like do like slick things, but it'll hit Pikachu, it'll trip Pikachu, and like Chikorita holds back no punches when it comes to trying to be Ash's number one and Ash's favorite.
Well, I mean, we are dealing with that feisty Chikorita, so what do we expect?
Exactly. So, all right, but yeah, so Quagsire finally gets a hold of the GS ball, and the episode is literally Ash just running. Ash, Brock, and Misty just running, trying to find this GS ball, because now they don't have it to give over to Professor Ivy. And this is when they start seeing a bunch of small things in the stream start like floating away, and Ash's like, maybe if we follow these circular items, we'll find the Quagsire. Lo and behold, they find the Quagsire later that night. They see the Quagsire with the GS ball, and Ash's dumb butt goes, "I'm gonna capture this Quagsire," and he has to be reminded that they will go to jail.
Wait a second, Ash. What are you doing? I'm gonna capture it. I gotta get that GS ball back.
But Officer Jenny made us promise that if we saw any Quagsire, we'd leave him alone.
Remember? Oh yeah, that's right.
Ash, we'll keep our eyes on it so it can't get away.
Yeah, sure.
Like I say, Ash's train of thought goes all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, well, I'm going to catch it. I'm going to catch this illegal Quagsire, but I'm not going to catch the Chikorita that got hurt in the heat of the battle. You know, so and I also feel like the fact that Misty and Brock and Ash followed the trail of the items and found the Quagsire, like, together doing the ceremony. I feel like this Quagsire ceremony isn't supposed to have an audience.
No, it's not. And it's funny because Team Rocket also gets the idea of going and capturing all these Quagsire that they get a claw machine, but these Quagsires are so slimy that they can't catch them. They can't even grab it. And that's when they're like, okay, let's go back to plan B from last week and we will use a net again. So they use the net, and Team Rocket ends up getting beat, of course, by Pikachu. And Bulbasaur cuts the net down, and they get blown away, and that's it for Team Rocket. And then all the Quagsire start swimming upstream so they can start shooting over the circular items over the waterfall. And then here we go, it's morning now, and Ash's GS ball was the final thing to come down the stream. So he is the luckiest out of everyone with his item. Doug?
Would it have been funnier if, like, Misty had an item taken that we didn't see, and like Misty's item was the last one, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot I even had that," or something.
I think it would have been funny if her last item coming down was her Pokeball that had Psyduck in it.
Yes. 100%. 100%. And then Psyduck just pops out like, Psy?
Yeah. Because it actually
100%.
Because it stayed in the Pokeball the whole time that the Quagsire had it. That would have been funny. I would have laughed.
100%. We just wrote a better end to a 24-year-old episode.
Yes, we did. Hindsight 2020.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, all right, we're going to get over into the final Johto episode that we have for you for this month, and it is called The Whistle Stop. And this one is revolving around the premiere and debut of Ladybug. So, this one starts off with Ash and his friends, and they're approaching a new town, but they're not quite in a new town yet. Team Rocket is on a bridge, and they're going to use this cage to get some new Pokemon. But the cage is too big, and it breaks the bridge in half. So Ash and our gang are now stuck, and they have to find a way around this bridge. And that's when we get introduced to Ariel with her Ladybug, and she's on like a little swing. She has, she has 6 Ladybug carrying her on a swing, and she's like, I can help you out.
Thank goodness you've come to save us. You're just like an angel from out of the blue.
Can I help you with something?
Yes, miss. We need to get across the water, and Brock needs to get back down to Earth.
You floated down from the heavens to aid and comfort me in my time of desperate need. Fate brought us together, but no power in heaven or on Earth will ever tear us apart.
We just want to cross the river. Well, I could fly you across with my Ladybug if you like.
Huh? Really? That'd be great. Thanks,
Oh, my name's Ariel. What's yours?
Hi, my name's Ash.
Nice to meet you. I'm Misty. We'll take you over one at a time when you're ready.
We're ready when you are.
And then they end up finding out that the Ladybug is a part of a flower farm, and they basically pollinate all of the flowers and the trees and everything that's around the area. Doug?
So Ash has the bright idea of, I have a Heracross. He can help the situation. No, Heracross is just hungry, just goes right for the sap.
I mean, did he not learn from previous episodes that that's what Heracross does anytime it's near a damn tree? Like, I just slapped my head.
That's how he caught Heracross to begin with.
Exactly. But we find out that Ariel has a special whistle that she trained her Ladybug with, and that's when Team Rocket makes their way into the episode, and they're like, we need that whistle. And they go over and they take the whistle from Ariel, who has introduced to us that whistle is a family heirloom, and nobody's allowed to touch that whistle besides her or anyone within the family. Because Ash asked to use it, and she's like, no. So Team Rocket steals it.
Which was probably the right idea anyway, because I don't know if I would trust Ash with any of my belongings as far as I can throw it.
Well, not even just that, but especially a whistle. Like, why would I want you to put your mouth on my whistle? I don't even know you like that. I just met you.
You know what? That's also true. I didn't even think of that. That's kind of grody.
Yeah, just a little bit. And
spoiler alert for the episode, I don't remember seeing her wash it off at any point.
No, and Jesse and Meowth both put their mouth on this whistle.
Yeah.
So all right. So Team Rocket's balloon gets gets trashed by these Ladybug. They go blasting off, but they go blasting off with the whistle. So now it's our gang with Ariel trying to find this whistle in the forest. And Team Rocket captures these Ladybug as well, and they're trying to use the whistle, but Ladybug is not listening to them at all when it comes to the whistle. So we find out Ariel has very little confidence in herself, that she's like, oh my gosh, I just got this whistle, and now the whistle's gone, and it's a family heirloom, and now I'm scared that my Ladybug are not going to listen to me anymore. Like, what if I get these Ladybug back and they have low confidence in me and they don't want to listen to me anymore?
Don't worry, Ariel, we'll find him.
Yes. But even if we do find my Ladybug, I have a feeling they're all going to stop listening to me.
That won't happen, Ariel.
It's already happened once. Without that whistle, they'll never listen to a word I say.
Of course they will. They just got confused by Lickitung Supersonic.
I hope you're right. Because I just can't imagine what I'd do if my Ladybug don't come back to me. I can't even think about life without my beautiful Ladybug.
Listen, Ariel. Who raised those Ladybug and trained them and took care of them when they got sick?
Me. I've done that ever since they were little tiny babies.
That's what's important, Ariel. What's in their hearts? That whistle doesn't matter.
Team Rocket's over there trying to work with the whistle, and they can't get it to work. And Meowth has the whistle, and he kind of plays a funky note, and James especially is kind of taking the piss out of him. But behind him, he sees that Arbok is kind of reacting. And Meowth's like, oh, hold on now.
He tells Arbok to use Dig, and Jesse's like, hey, Arbok's not going to listen to you. And then he plays the fucking whistle, and Arbok listens.
And he goes over there, and he scares the out of the Ladybug.
Ladybug and Ariel end up meeting back up with Team Rocket, and they're all battling each other. And Team Rocket ends up losing the whistle again, and Ariel takes the whistle, and she tells the Ladybug to start pollinating, and they start pollinating on Team Rocket, and they're also let loose out of the netting that they were captured in, and Ariel finds out that she doesn't need the whistle to tell the Ladybug what to do or to have them have confidence, because she just ordered them to use some attacks to try to get free, and they listen. Doug?
And pardon me. And so, Ariel's kind of got some confidence, and we kind of end the episode because, Team Rocket gets shit canned because, of course they do. They're the bad guys. Yep. And, we do the standard thing of, let's say goodbye to this character that we're never going to see again. I'm not even going to ask you because I know the answer.
Yeah, no, she comes back in like 3 episodes.
You're fucking with me, and that's not funny.
I am fucking with you.
That's not funny. I mean, you said it with such confidence. I was like, if this is the one time, I'm going to feel bad. But so they say goodbye to the character that we're never going to see again. And so, yeah, she's basically like, I'm going to start using the whistle less and less. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah, literally the end. Like, we don't get no goodbye to Ariel or anything. It's just, that's the end. So.
That's it.
All right. So let's go through these. It's been a night. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna rate some of these myself first this week, and I'm gonna start with Little Bighorn Doug, and I'm gonna give that episode about a 3.5 out of 5 stars. How about you?
Ooh. That's to me, that's a little high. I was going to say 2.5 being generous.
Well, I mean, I gave it a 3.5 because it's not your stereotypical filler episode, and it got you in your feelings. It made you kind of feel, and it told a really, really, really good story. Nothing that really advanced the story, but our heroes actually did something in this. Like the whole episode was was learning something in regards to this, and it wasn't just okay. Let's figure out how we can draw these characters for 20 minutes and get an episode out. Like they actually thought about what they were doing. So that's the reason for my 2.5.
Okay. Well, I'm still sticking with my 2.5 on that.
Okay.
Because I didn't appreciate getting thrown into my feelings. How about that?
You got a half a star less because you made Doug cry.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, motherfucker, that's what it was. Yeah, I'm trying to sit here and watch Pokemon episodes. I'm not trying to feel shit. That's what it was.
And then the Chikorita rescue. I'm gonna give that one a 4-star because we had advancement. We had everything, and it was a really I enjoyed going through that episode just as much as I enjoyed watching.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I was really considering giving it a 4.5, but I took a half a star off just because he didn't catch Chikorita. Chikorita just kind of said, "I want to go with you," and Ash was like, "Bet," and he did a little peace sign.
Yeah,
and I feel like I felt insulted by that peace sign.
Once in a Blue Moon, I'm going to give that one a 2-star. Is what I'm going to. I that was filler as all filler for that episode. How about you?
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement there. We could have missed this episode and not missed anything.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm going to do the same with the whistle stop because it was just there. I mean, and come on, it took us 10 minutes to get over that episode. So I'm going to just say 2 stars for that one.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay.
I
don't think it was that bad for a 1-star because I mean we've given 1 stars in the past, but outside of that, I think we're good to go. Doug, any last words for this episode?
No, just glad to be back. We've dealt with a little bit of technical issues, but hopefully that doesn't come through when the fine people click play.
Yeah, I'll do some nice scrubbing. So you're good. So.
And hopefully we can kind of, I don't want to say right the ship because that's kind of insulting to us, but hopefully we'll have the kinks ironed out the next time we get on the headsets.
Absolutely. So go ahead and say your goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Professor Chris G telling all of you we will be back next week with another Horizon. So we'll see you again on the flip side. Have a good night.